What's up, you guys? This is Rob from My Gay Guy Plays, and today on the snapshot, we're going to be taking a look at both the Veldt and the dual Keres. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I really wanted to go ahead and cover these individually, but after playing them for a while, I was like, there's really nothing spectacular about them. And when I say spectacular, there's no crazy new mechanic. There's nothing that just makes you go, ooh, what's that about? They're good weapons in their own right, but they're not like mind-blowing when it comes to, you know, uniqueness or mechanicalness. So I figured we'd go ahead and just do something a little bit more casual, just have a little chat about them and show you how they perform and have a little bit of a discussion as to why I've modded them in specific ways. So let's take a look at the dual Keres first. This is available in the core collection, so if you're thinking about picking up the bundle, if maybe Onslaught's still a little bit buggy for you, I will say that in the most recent patch, it has stabilized a lot for me. I can actually stream it now, which is very, very exciting. So as you can see, you can actually pick this up in the market. Its blueprints are available there for 25,000 credits, or you can go ahead and pick it up for 130 on its own or in the core collection. It does require Mastery Rank 7, but I'm going to be honest with you, that this thing is swinging above its league. This thing is very, very good. So I'm like, Mastery Rank 7 on paper, but in performance, I would say like Mastery Rank 10, 12, it's good. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Veldt real quick. This one is actually going to require clan research, which I'm sure that most clans have already like been underway and started producing. And you probably already built it yourself, but we can take a look at how it performs with a full build today. It's 240 on its own, and then of course it needs to be picked up in the Tenno Lab, but it does require Mastery Rank 8 to craft, and I feel like that's fairly accurate. Regardless, let's go ahead and jump in the simulacrum and take a look at how these things perform. Okay, so taking a look at the dual Keres statistically, this thing is a freaking high performer. As you can see right here, its attack speed is 1.25. I believe that puts it in the top 2 currently of the dual swords category. The critical chance is actually the highest in the dual swords category, and the critical multiplier, I believe, is also the second highest currently in the dual swords category. So this thing is showing a lot of promise. Its status chance, while it's not as high as the rest of its statistics, it's definitely pushing it. It's kind of like, look, I could do a little bit of something else too, which I'm definitely impressed by, and really kind of allows it to become more powerful than it seems on paper. Its base slash is fairly high as well, so you're gonna get some nice chunky hits off of that, but it's still got a decent IPS on it where you could make use of a little bit of condition overload. So let's go ahead and take a look at my current build. This is not surprising if you guys saw my Zaw video. This is basically just a hybrid crit and status build. So as you can see right here, we are doing the good old-fashioned combo, condition overload, blood rush, and we've got a little bit of viral on there as well. And like I was saying, this thing is definitely hitting above its weight class. I saw this and I was like, this thing's got a lot of potential. Now the reason why I didn't give it its own video though is I just had nothing to say about it beyond that. I mean, it's a Mastery Rank 7 and it just took out like a freaking 155 bombard. That should say something about its performance right there. But in addition, there's a lot of great Zaws out there. There's already a lot of great dual swords. So there's nothing really that is too insane about this one. However, once you get it started with a little body count blood rush, it just becomes really, really freaking juicy. And in the wild, the only complaint that I guess I really have of it, and maybe it's because I'm getting spoiled by a lot of these Zaws that are out and that we're playing around with, is the fact that its range is really short. And that's kind of like a thing with dual swords. Even if you put primed reach on this thing, it doesn't improve it by that much. I believe when I was testing out the range, it was like 2.5 meters. So putting primed reach on it really is just like, you're paying for an extra inch. And I'm like, I mean, some of us might be cool with an extra inch, but if I'm, you know, if I'm gonna sacrifice a slot in my build, I'm looking for something a little bigger, a little better, a little heftier, right? I'm looking for like a 3 to 4 meter increase. Like, that's what I want. But dual Keres, definitely powerful in that right. So you gotta give it up. If you're looking for a set of dual swords and you don't, let's say, have like the Nami Skyla Prime, this is definitely something that you can get your hands on. Or maybe you just don't like the look of the Nami Skyla Prime. Maybe that's what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Veldt real quick. Now, the Veldt I'm gonna be honest with you, is a little bit of the bane of my existence. I can't say that. I always feel bad because it's not like a sniper. It's definitely a rifle. It's a hunting rifle, and it's got like this extra zoom feature that makes it, oh look, you can zoom in on enemies, but there's no bonus to it. So I mean, don't feel special if you're gonna do that. There's no HUD to it either. But statistically, it's really, really strong. Its accuracy is very high at 32. Its critical chance and status chance are both at 22%, which are fairly respectable when it comes to rifles. So I'm not gonna knock that. It's got a good critical multiplier to it, and its reload speed is like, it's not bad. Overall, it's good. Overall, it's good, and it's got more slash than the rest of its counterparts when it comes down to IPS. So not a bad weapon overall, but as you guys already know, I'm not a fan of like what is it? Is it the Latron Prime? It's something, the Latron Prime, the Latron Vandal. I've tried to like them, and I've just not been able to. Let's go ahead and take a look at the build right now. You're gonna see one thing that is probably gonna piss some people off, but I needed it in my life. So really basic crit build. We're going for a little bit of Hunter's Munitions in there, and we are running viral as well, because this seems to be like a viral slash episode. That's exactly what we're going for. But as you can see, I have Prime Shred there, and this is one of the things that I kind of need to speak on, because there's been a lot of talks about this lately. Simulacrum fighting is fine to kind of check for baselines on weapons, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's how the weapon is going to best perform in the actual outside field. So I found that with, you know, testing in the simulacrum, what looks really good is something like running, what is it called? Like, where is it? Vigilante Armaments with the multi-shot, right? Am I right? I'm so bad with names. Vigilante Armaments, yeah. So that's what I was actually running before this. I was running some Vigilante Armaments, and it looked great in the simulacrum, but when I was playing with it, like, out in the field, I didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. So what I've actually got going is a Prime Shred. Now what we can do is I'll go ahead and do a couple rounds with the Prime Shred, and then we'll jump into a little bit of Vigilante Armaments. The fire rate on its own was just too slow for me. I believe it was like 3 point something, and I didn't enjoy it, and I felt like in the field where we were moving a lot faster and we were taking on enemies, that it just kind of, like, it didn't feel good. So there's that zoom. You use a secondary fire to get that zoom in. In the actual field where I'm fighting enemies that aren't level 155, it felt too slow. Like swapping between enemies, taking a shot and swapping in between enemies, I just did not like it. Of course, in the simulacrum, it looked great because you're getting extra multi-shots, you're getting extra procs, you're getting extra crits. So, you know, everybody's like, ooh, it looks fantastic. But me personally, I really just enjoyed using Shred on this a bit more. So as you can see, the fire rate's a bit faster, and it just feels good to me. So let's do one more round, then let's go ahead and swap back on over to Vigilante Armaments, and you can see how that looks in the simulacrum. And that, you know, and the only issue that I can say, you know, when it comes down to you know, giving you guys clips and fighting out in the wild, as I like to call it, the issue with that is sometimes taking the footage does take too long, and really, I don't necessarily know if it adds that much, or at least I personally don't feel like it adds all that much more that you guys can't common sense out in your head. You know, I'm asking you guys to have some common sense. I'm assuming that, you know, my audience understands a big difference between watching something in the simulacrum and playing it in the game, but you guys can kind of get the idea of like what we're trying to do, you know what I mean? So I don't know, me personally, see, I just feel like it's so slow, but it looks great because you know what? You kill them in one reload. And you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like this weapon kind of bats up a little bit above its average. I said that I didn't feel like it bats above its average, like it's kind of right there, but it bats pretty well. You know, so if you're looking for something that's a little bit better ammo efficiency wise, just go ahead and use the Vigilante Armaments build. But me personally, I like Shred a little bit better. I mean, look, that was like one clip, and that's not terrible at all. But that basically does it for this video. As you guys can see, there's no crazy, weird, odd mechanics that I need to talk about. Just two pretty solid weapons. If you guys haven't already gotten them, I'm definitely going to suggest the dual Keres. That's something that I think it's fun to have, and it matches Korra. Why not? The Veldt, I don't think is necessarily something that you must pick up, but if you're a Latron Prime lover or a Latron Vandal lover, listen, I know, or Latron Wraith, not Latron Vandal, oh my god, no. Wouldn't that be crazy though if they did a Latron, like just to complete the set? Anyway, don't listen to me. But if you are a fan of the Latron series, go ahead. This is going to be right up your alley. It's not necessarily 100% up mine, but if that's your thing, do what you want to do. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go because that's all I gotta say about these. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.